Alright, so this is lesson 3. If you guys missed the previous 2 lessons, the first one's about target audience, how to figure out who you're going to be advertising to. And the second one was, the word choice and how that affects advertising.
Just a side note, they're all up on YouTube. We just need, I think, Jeffrey, whose email is missing?
What?
Yeah, from the attendance log. Somebody's email is missing.
Yeah. You're not in yet.
Alright, so once you get that one email, we're going to add it to the list and we're going to send you the link to the video, alright? For the first 2 lessons.
Alright, so the third lesson is efficiency in advertising. So the main thing you have to know is that not all advertising platforms are equal. There are some that are intended for a certain audience. Like, you won't place an advertisement in newspapers if you're trying to advertise to young kids, because there's practically no young kid that will read the newspaper. Or you won't see a life alert advertising on Twitch. It just doesn't fit to whom they're advertising. So that's the main overarching thing about advertising, is you have to be efficient. You have to be efficient with the money you use. You don't want to be wasting money on useless advertising. So the first thing you have to keep in mind is the cost of the platform. Because if you know, like, advertising on Google and advertising in newspapers, they're completely different costs. You have to keep in count the differences in these costs. So, right here, there's a list of some of the costs that you use for on certain platforms, such as TV. There's on average around $242,000 for a 30-second interval, which is a lot of money, to be honest. Newspapers, it can be as low as $11 per inch, but as high as $1.4 million for a page, such as like in the Sunday news articles of New York Times. And on Google is $1 to $2 per click. So although like the TV is seen as like outrageously high, $342,000 compared to Google's $1 to $2 click, sometimes it's actually necessary for you to spend that much because you'll be advertising to, let's say, sometimes even millions of people with just $342,000, making it more worth it. So although you may be advertising to more people, such as at TV, you can sometimes get like 12 million people watching, it doesn't matter how many, but how many of your target audience. So you have to keep your target audience into account at all times, because it's best to go to the target audience, to the platform that attracts your target audience. You want to stick to where your people are. You can't be, like I had said before, you can't advertise to young kids in newspapers. You have to make sure you follow where they are. Follow wherever they go and make sure you can get them to buy your product. So to make sure you follow your target audience, it should be kept in mind that you should do this more regardless of your higher cost. We'll see how to compare the two in the next slide. But there's no point in advertising when no one would buy. Even if it's just $100 for 10 years of straight advertising, if no one is going to, like, no one in your target audience is going to see this advertising or is gonna like buy your product, you just wasted $100. Even though it was like cheap, it just made no sense. You just wasted that $100. So this is where we combine the 2 previous slides of the cost of platforms and following your target audience into the cost per customer. This is also known as CAC, the customer acquisition cost. But this is how you're able to compare different. This is how you're able to compare different advertising platforms, because comparing $342,000 for TV compared to a $1 to $2 per click, $1 to $2 per click on Google is pretty hard to figure out just how much. Like, how do I compare them? Is one really low compared to one very high? And you may think that the very low might be better, but not in all cases. And this is where we use the cost per customer acquisition cost. And this is, I think, your first equation that you guys would know is the customer per cost is the total cost of advertising that platform So let's say for TV, it's 342,000. So let's say we're advertising on TV with 342,000 divided by the number of new customers, or how much do you expect to go onto it. So sometimes if you advertise for like a target audience of like 1 million, not every single one will buy your product, but you can roughly estimate how many would be more attracted to your product than others. So let's say if we're advertising on TV and we get, which costs $342,000, and we ended up getting 342,000 new customers, we had a cost per customer of $1. So it is to note that the customer acquisition cost, or the cost per customer, is going to be higher for startups and aging businesses. The reason for this is because as a startup, you're not well known. So you don't have the privilege of word of mouth. You won't have friends that would know this product. So when it comes to startups, it will take more advertising, more getting out there for you to actually get your first customer. But once you start getting it started, it starts rolling. And also for aging businesses. So if you basically have 6 billion out of 7 billion people on your product, it will be much harder to get that last billion on there because you would have to advertise more, since they're probably not inclined to buy your product immediately. So a question I had said is, I'm going to try to have you guys answer this question. It's not a hard one, but if a company plans to spend $1 million in advertising to get 1,000 new customers, and each customer will end up buying $100 each from the company in their lifetime, should they make the advertising? So, I'll give you guys a moment to actually calculate the things. Yes. All right. So did you guys end up figuring out that? No? Oswald?
It's not really, because if you count how much money you get back.
You want to show us on the board?
So let's say you have 1,000 customers, and they each give 100. You only get overall $100,000. One second. That's only getting back $100,000 instead of $1 million.
Yeah.
So you lose money.
Yeah, you end up losing $900,000 because you spent $1 million in advertising and ended up only getting $100,000 back. So they shouldn't be making the advertising. Now the last thing you have to know is that not all marketing has to be through ads. Besides ads, you can use sales, when you get that half off or so, buy one get one free. You can use those sales. Those are actually advertising and marketing as well. And also new user specials. Have you guys ever seen when Uber's $20 off your first ride? Have you guys ever seen that?
No, what?
When they run the promotion where it's $20 off your first ride?
Wait, what?
In Uber when you have that $20 off your first ride?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, that's a thing.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. When they run that thing for a certain amount of time, it's limited. And also your first 2 weeks or first month of YouTube Red is usually free.
Yeah.
3 months.
3 months?
You have a minute.
Alright. Yeah, last one. So yeah, it can be found through that too. It doesn't have to be just through ads. And marketing can also come through word of mouth, which is actually the most powerful. It's how Facebook and Google, that's how they started spreading. Because if no one started they never really advertised in the beginning. They just happen to have like, oh, you're on Facebook? Oh, I'll join Facebook. And that's how they started growing. And Tesla, which is like one of the most popular like brands, car brands out there, they only got it through word of mouth. They didn't have a single advertising throughout the entire thing. So you have to realize the power of marketing doesn't have to be just words. And yeah, that's it.
So, in sum, Devin, how would you sum that up entirely?
All right, so you have the customer.
Can you make it
summary.
Can you do like a fun?
Nutshell.
Can you adopt
A fun.
a more fun manner of voice while you do it?
It'll be hard.
Okay, you have 30 seconds.
All right, so the customer acquisition cost is basically just the total cost of
Louder.
advertising divided by the amount of new customers that you would be getting. And you also have to just know that marketing doesn't have to be through ads. That's just about it. It's nothing more to it. You have to realize there's companies that they don't have to just use advertising, and sometimes you guys don't have to just use advertising to get your product out there and to become a big business.
So for a poor startup, like literally $90, how do you okay? So say we're a software engineering company and we're on Kickstarter. Would that be advertising enough?
Yeah, because if you're on Kickstarter, it's just like the word of mouth kind of thing. It's
Okay.
like, you know when you always see those like coffee shop like Facebook pages? It's that kind of realm.
Okay.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
No, I'm not a foodie.
Open up my mind.
Anyway,
What's going on?
all right. So thank you, Devin. Yay.